Peace and love, family and friends, naysayers, whomever. My name is Leon Wheeler Jr., and this is Master Making in Motion. And today's brief talk will be about who is best fit to raise our children. Before I get into the details of the meat of this, allow me the opportunity to express that by no means do I consider myself to be an authority on this subject matter. However, I've uh, I've taken many years, probably 30 years or better, studying child raising from numerous of different places. Why? Because child raising is something that's dear to my heart. Being somewhat of a leader in the past in my community, unfortunately for that was which was probably perceived more so as something negative, but being a leader and an individual who always cared for my community and the people in my community, I realized that the children was the individuals that we owed the most to. Unfortunately, even still dealing with that fact, I was a poor parent. For the most part, my children grew up without me. Most of their childhood life, I was in prison, with the exception of my daughter, who was approximately 12 years old when I left. But even then, I was still a poor parent. Mainly because of ignorance, I didn't know what to do. I knew what I saw from my parents, and a lot of things that they'd done with me, I probably took issue with. However, I knew they meant well, but I wasn't in the right mind frame to be a parent, and probably just quite selfish, figuring that I can. Parenting basically was predicated upon finance. I can give you some finance or some physical material goods, and that was pretty much my involvement with parenting for the most part. But again, I was ignorant. I was confused and definitely not mentally prepared to be a parent. So with that said, again, I studied parenting once I got and once I became a prisoner of the state of Michigan. When I was incarcerated, I decided to dive into self-help learning. I decided that I was going to make my prison stay my college, and I was going to learn. Come in with a took a tape test, and it was approximately a third grade education. So I had a lot of work to do. I stopped going to school as probably from the age, I think, really, to be honest, coming straight out of junior high. So from high school, the ninth grade forward, I was really absent in school. But my childhood is still interesting and was, I had potentials, but again, I sidestepped what was necessary and didn't go to school. So I take this tape test, scored the third grade, said, damn, you got a lot of work to do. So I went to work. And I realized that reading was something that I was going to have to embark upon. And I decided to just, read as many books as I can on subject matters that was important to me. And again, family, community, being a leader, striving to change my life and do something good even when I was in the streets. However, I never made I never actually put forth the effort to do that, but that was my goal. And so now I'm in prison. And I said, well, it's time to take advantage of this time and learn as much as you can. So I started reading. The first two books that I purchased, and I don't know in totality if I'm going to name them right, but this is the overall perspective of them. The first two books, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close. The first book that I ordered two at one time. The first one was Raising Children in Islam, in Al Islam. Again, that's my focus. I had sons, three sons and a daughter when I left. the streets. So I was trying to prepare myself to, how do I supposed to raise them, or how should I have raised them, or what can I do to assist the situation now that I'm gone? And the second book was Male-Female Relationship in Islam. I'd accepted Islam. That was my intentions at the time that I wrote these books. I'm pretty sure I was Muslim. So these are the two books that first two books that I purchased. And because child raising was definitely important to me. So those are the books that I raised. So in doing so, that was my first introduction to child raising from other people's perspective. I bought many books on the subject. Most everything that I read for probably the first maybe 6, 7 years, 8 years, maybe 10 years was all self-help material. Along with my school work that I was involved in. Even in school in the penitentiary, I didn't take it 100% serious, but thinking that I was really smart, I scapegoat and I didn't dive in to the degree that I needed to. But my self-work, my self-help work, I was serious about. I was 100% into that. Maybe not even 100%. But anyway, the point is that this was my love, trying to coming up with an idea that I can become a better parent, a better human being. And this is the path that I started upon. I got my hands eventually on, years down the line, I read a book by Stephen R. Covey, which is called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Beautiful book, great book. I read it, maybe again 20, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, or better. And I purchased it again once I got home. I have the book right here, Seven Habits for Highly Effective People. And in the book, he illustrates habits that people should implement in their life to become effective leaders, to become, positive, highly effective people, positive individuals with something to say and something, something, and an example of what they should be doing and who they are. So, habit 2 is what I'm going to give some conversation on because, all the habits are great, but habit 2 kind of deals with how I want to approach what I'm going to come up with next, what I want to talk to you about next. Habit 2 was begin with the end in mind. So, with that said, that's the habit that I apply in my life. I focus on that aspect in everything that I do. And even if I'm just I guess glazing on the surface with it, I make sure that I keep that mindset, that concept in my mind. Let me say this also. I come up with a concept in the penitentiary for myself first and foremost, that I wanted to visualize myself as an older man. So that was to begin with the end in mind. So I wanted to see myself envision in my mind how 70 years old would look to me. So this was a process, a practice that I done for myself. And I started sharing that with the young brothers in the penitentiary. I started telling them to, check this out. Visualize yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You pick the number that you want to see yourself and visualize in your mind how that's going to look, how you think that's going to be. And if you can put that in your mind, your mental capacity, if you can visualize it, maybe when that time comes, you'll have some direction. Because you've already perceived that. You have already visualized that in your mindset. So you know what you're working towards. So I said all that to say, when I'm dealing with parenting, this is what comes to my mind now. So I'm going to begin with the end in mind. And the beginning is, and the end is the parents must get themselves together. Parents must do what's necessary in order for them to be able to be good parents or productive parents for children. So I challenge the young minds, the young potential parents, people who've never had any children, for one, who One day is going to be probably sexual active, if not already. And when you're sexual active, you know, the possibility of having a child, because most of us weren't necessarily planning children, it's going to take place. So if you visualize your perception of being a parent, way before that happens, you have some type of outlook, something to work towards. So I suggest that you young parents, uh, young possible parents, young individuals that may be parents in the near future, that you visualize yourself as a parent right now. So you practice this exercise. You try this exercise and you visualize what that's going to look like, what that can look like, how you would like to see that, how would you like for that to be for you. So you visualize that. For the parents that, for the young adults that may be in the process of having a baby, they may be pregnant or whatever, and that's for male and female. You visualize your job, your duties as a parent, and how you see that playing out. People who, like I said, who may be soon to be parents, visualize that, see it. Or anyone that's of whatever age it is, if you're older or more mature adult that maybe even have kids and they're small, and or children or one child, whatever, visualize how you want to see that, and you can do that at any time. Even if you have children already, visualize yourself being a parent and how you perceive that to be. Take some time out to use your imagination and put that in. So that's beginning with the end in mind. You seeing the end process before you even embark upon it, or while you're embarking upon it. That's an exercise that I suggest that we all do. So let me also say that one of the things that I've done in everything, all my everything that I've been doing yet far, has been geared towards some form of child raising, uplifting and motivating and inspiring the youth to become better human beings. So again, we have to do that for ourselves. My first book, Code and Ethics for Up and Coming Player, that's what it's all about. You know, up and coming players, the code and ethics for up and coming players. Again, I said those individuals are the babies. Matter of fact, I want to read something out of here from chapter 6, and chapter 6 was entitled what the title of this particular talk is, who is best suited to groom an up-and-coming player. On page 33, the title headline is Who's First for the Game? I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read another section out here too. For polished parents, the babies are the first in the game, and that's because they know and understand that children are our future. Yet so many of today's parents aren't mentally prepared to properly play, teach, or understand the game. So schooling must begin with them. What I'm saying, pretty clear. Your parenting skills, your being a parent, you being qualified to raise a child, it has to start with you. So you have to put in the work that's necessary to do what's necessary to make sure that your children have, I'm going to call it a head start, that they have some footage in the game of life, because you've took out the time to prepare yourself, or you're preparing yourself and you're sharing the game with them as you learn it. That's my motto, is teach what you want to learn. So we want to learn how to be better parents, to be the best parents, so we can raise healthy, strong-minded children, leaders. So right now, being first belong to the fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, uncles, and aunts. But the moment they properly lay claim to the game, they become duty bound to share what they know with the world, especially with the young. This is because it is the baby's birthright to know and inherit everything we offer them, and much, much more. So uh, keep that in mind when we thinking about the process of being a parent. When we think about the possibility of being a parent, when we're talking to young brothers and sisters that may that in turn turn out to be a parent before you know it. Or whomever it is, again, we're thinking, we're putting first things, well, beginning with the end in mind. So we're looking at this, we're visualizing it, and we're doing what's necessary by way of teaching ourselves what's necessary so that we can give them some proper guidance. I'm going to read another passage out the book called, from the same chapter, is Choosing a Teacher. Now, this is what's necessary. In the old days, when they said the old adage was it takes a village to raise a child, the people, most of us, me myself, grew up in a community where all adults had some authority over us, had the right to correct us and check us if need be, and put us in our place. And we respected them. And that was our community. That was the village. And those best qualified went on the limb and they taught whatever their qualifications was. In my neighborhood, we had a few elder sisters that was older than that was my parents' age. They ran the community, what we call it, neighborhood park, so to speak. You know, they ran it. The community organizers for that, and they put on different things for us to partake in, different events, as far as going to the YMCA, going to the show. They regulated that, so they were skilled in that educational standpoint. I, I'll be remiss not to mention their name because both of the individuals, female individuals, are no longer with us, but they were inspirational and they taught us very well. Excuse me, and that was Jean Perkins and Susie Blackshear. These two ladies were educated beyond well, had more education, or maybe just more love for the community. So they shared their skills with us, and they were authority figures, and they was motivating us and inspiring us to do and be better human beings, to teach us. You know, that's what the community did. So, and I do believe that there was a few families in the community also that probably were on another level of their parenting, and they reached out even farther for help in assisting them with their parenting for their children. So, you know, in my books, you know, this is King, a Master in the Making. Throughout the book, this is all parenting. This is all it is parenting. This young kid is being groomed by the community. His grandfather is introducing him to individuals and making them mentors to the youngster to keep him in line and give him the game that he needs to be qualified to, I guess, duck a lot of the pitfalls that the society has put out for African American children, uh, be that male or female. But so these books that I wrote are basically parenting books. That's what they are, parenting books, and uh, and I'm sharing the game because this is again a love that I've desired to see in our community. I want to help our community grow and be better. So this is my contribution. This is part of my contribution, as well as this channel. It's part of the contribution. So on this in this particular section is called choosing to qualify. It was choosing a teacher. Choosing to qualify teachers is a sacred task because the quality of the game that children receive can and will affect the continuity of the flow of the show. If a positive, productive, progressive mindset is established, the child will grow up with a divine perspective about life, which will undoubtedly assist the world of players that are sure to follow. So again, the best suited to groom a player is this. I skipped this. Is a master player, and that's what I'm striving to be. And I suggest that we all strive to be masters at whatever. So the best suited is a master player. But because they seem to be so rare, parents must have to Parents may have to settle for a boss player, a wise elder, or maybe even an intellectual from the academic world to groom, grow, and prepare their child to perform in the play of life. So, all I'm saying to you all, or at any rate, parents must choose, and whomever they opt for, they must choose wisely because the future depends on their decisions. So all I'm saying is, as parents, what I suggest that we all do, young parents, this is really for you because, I don't have any children that's babies, so all I can do is advise now. So what I suggest that you do is you find you a network of people that are qualified in different positions, and you pull from them. You know, a lot of the brothers and sisters would take their children. At one point, they would take their children to the barbershop, young men, and because at the time it used to be barber talk. It used to be talk that the men in the barbershop shared with each other. It was just like men talk, and that was like an introduction to manhood through listening to the older gentleman, kick the game, about whatever the situation is. They talk to everything. They talk politics. They talk finance. They talk, that's what we did. And we got to get back to that mindset. And that's what this is all about. Motivating us to take advantage of every individual that have something to share, something that will be beneficial, that will help us. And you have to create a long line of activists to help you with this. You might meet somebody that's, for example, my boys, one of my boys, he's into to basketball sports, so that's an outlet. So and there's a lot of game uh, to be had in learning to play organized sports. You're going to learn some discipline. You're going to learn some stuff. Even if you don't make it to become an athlete, you take from that particular field all of the wisdom and knowledge that you learned, and you apply that in your everyday life. If you learn how to coexist with a group of guys on the field and be productive, and you assist each other, when you get to the work field, you will know how to do that in the work field. So even though you may not be successful, so that's a way of giving him some guidance, some mentorship, and it's there. You may find someone that's really good at what from an educational standpoint. You may have a speech teacher to teach a child how to speak appropriately, his dictum, to know how to communicate appropriately. And that's all this teacher do is teach your child how to, do proper speech. You know, this is what I wish I had when I was a child. And I know it works. I know it can work, even though what I'm saying is conjecture. I mean, it's theoretical. I've never actually applied none of it. So I'm doing it in my theory. I've come up with these different ideas through trial and error, through studying and putting stuff under the microscope. And what makes sense, I'm offering it to you and saying, hey, try it. You can't fail. There's no way you can fail by using it. I mean, all you can do is benefit. There's no way you can possibly fail. So I'm suggesting that you reach out and you find qualified individuals across the globe. And when I say that, across the board, on a number of different skills for them to learn how to become better individuals. So this is the talk, and it has to start with your mindset as a potential parent or parent. You have to do this. I want to also say this, and I'm going to end this particular talk because I don't want to be here too long. But I also want to say this, that I believe the structure is important, and giving them chores. This life isn't to be about just fun, playing and games. Even though, you need this. That's a form of exercise and release. I'm not saying But keeping everything in perspective. But this usually come about the celebration of once we've accomplished things. But the children need some stability. I believe that most of the parents today are not putting forth a discipline as far as making their children really be accountable. So cleaning up, certain chores is necessary. I mean, and they shouldn't be they shouldn't be cream puffy type stuff. It shouldn't be puffy or, I mean, make them earn. Uh, and in the long run, I'm telling you, they would appreciate it because they'll be able to take something of benefit with them when they make their when they become adults. It's good schooling, good game. So put them to work, and don't be too soft about it. You know what I'm saying? Make them work. Make them clean your yards up. Make them put them to work. In the old days, people had large families because they was able to get more accomplished with the larger families. Now you have a large family and nobody even go outside. And if they do go outside, they go outside and just cause havoc. Make them work. Teach them to become disciplined. You know, motivate them to become greater human beings. So that's all I'm gonna say today. I didn't mean this to be too long. So if I said anything that you see as possibly helpful, I ask that you think someone could possibly use. I ask that you share it with them. I ask that you share, you like and share, and subscribe to the channel. And especially if you found something that you think can be helpful for anyone, for yourself or whomever. I say like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if I did say anything that wasn't for you, that you feel like it didn't do anything for you, just let it fly. You know what I'm saying? But the channel can't grow without your help. So I ask that you again, that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget about my 2 books, Code and Ethics for Up-and-Coming Player and King and Master in the Making. These are basically child-raising books. This is my contribution. You can get them at Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. Well, almost any bookstore. You may have to order them, and they may take them in to get you, but those 2 places that you can definitely get them at. And you can get it in audio book, or you can get an ebook. But if you're not a real good reader, and not really motivated by reading, get it in an audio book and listen to it. It's a lot of information that it can help you. Thank you for your time and your consideration again. One more time, if you heard anything that's beneficial to you or you think can help someone else, I ask that you share it with them. I ask that you like, and I also ask that you subscribe to the channel, because without your help, the channel can't grow. As always, I leave you as I came, in peace and love. And my catchword be